Welcome back to the Daily Dose. My name is Taylor Osborn. Excited to be back with you in chapter 4 today, verse 12 in 1 Peter. It says, "Dear friends, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you, as though something strange were happening to you, but rejoice inasmuch as you participate in the sufferings of Christ, so that you may be overjoyed when his glory is revealed. If you are insulted because of the name of Christ, you are blessed, for the Spirit of glory and of God rests on you. If you suffer, it should not be as a murderer or a thief or any other kind of criminal or even as a meddler. However, if you suffer as a Christian, do not be ashamed, but praise God that you bear that name. For it is time for judgment to begin with God's household. And if it begins with us, what will the outcome be for those who do not obey the gospel of God? And if it is hard for the righteous to be saved, what will be of the ungodly and the sinner? So then, those who suffer according to God's will should commit themselves to their faithful Creator and continue to do good." Here we know that Peter is addressing a group of persecuted Christians, and he's saying, don't be surprised. Don't react as though something strange is happening to you. Expect suffering as a Christian. To accept the name of Christ is to expect that you will suffer for the name of God. That if we are to live like Jesus walked, our goal is in the midst of suffering to respond the way that Jesus responded, with grace and with kindness and with love, and to let that be something that allows non-believers to say, how could that possibly be your response? How could rejoicing possibly be your response? And yet that's what we're called to here, because he says the Spirit of glory and of God rests on you. Rest assured that you're in good hands, that you will participate in the sufferings of Christ, and that you will be able to add your name to a long list of people who suffered before you and of people who will suffer after you, and be able to say that, yes, I hold the family name of Christ. I belong to this, and for that I will do anything for the sake of glorifying God. And he quotes Proverbs 11:31 here. It says, "If it is hard for the righteous to be saved, what will become of the ungodly and the sinner?" If in the midst of our suffering, we have the hope that someday our suffering will end, and that our hope is eternal, and that it is never changing, that we can always rely on the hope that we find in God, where does the non-believer find that hope? And the simple answer is they don't. Imagine the plight of the non-believer whose hope is found in daydreams. He says that is not the case with you. So for the sake of who God is, we suffer, and we do it with rejoicing. Time and time and time again, we see in the Bible an urge to expect trials and tribulations and persecutions and suffering, and our response should be to rejoice, to let the power of Christ rest on us, to boast about our weaknesses, because we know where our hope comes from. We know that we are stable in that, and we know that there is an end to our suffering in sight. And true love expects hardship and loves anyway. So my challenge for you today is to expect suffering, but to rejoice always. Pray over how you could be sharing the good news of who God is with the hopeless, with the lost that don't share that same peace, that don't share that same hope, that don't have the same stability in who God is that you have yet. Have a great day, Daily Dosers.